Directorate of Public Relations of the Australian Army presents War Correspondent. Your name is Mike McCann. You're a war correspondent. For the people of this atomic time who know that peace belongs only to the prepared, you tell these stories of the Australian Army on active service. Your name is Mike McCann, war correspondent.
I'm Mike McCann. It's probable that the narrowest track ever trod in Australian history is associated with the broadest canvas of events ever recorded in the life of our nation. The narrow track is the Kokoda Trail. The Kokoda Trail. Every man who saw it in a different light. To the natives who lived in those mountainous regions, it was the narrow footpath through part of the massive Owen Stanley Range. To the missioners who occasionally trod it, the trail was a faint, infrequently used link with their strange and widespread parish. To the men who came from the desert, fighting, it was a different sight, an awesome and a frightful sight. The trail led into the tempestuous and thickly green mountains that always had their shoulders shrouded in gray cloud. The winds always moaned there. The rain came quickly, frequently, and heavy, and always there was the noise of water running. It was a green hell that the trail led into. And the trail itself, steep and narrow, unmade except by native feet, was a muddy trail for any man. To the fighting men from the western desert with whom we're concerned in this story, the Kokoda Trail was a challenge. The AIF veterans from the Middle East were hurrying home when militiamen of Maroubra Force, fighting desperately, were being pushed back along the Kokoda track in those anxious August days of 1942, as the Japanese continued to flood southwards towards Australia. The veterans of the desert fighting didn't know what lay ahead.
That's the music the boys have been waiting to hear, Major.
Yes, sir. Home.
They're not sorry to have left the Middle East.
No, sir. Not when Australia wants them home.
Yes, of course. It's understandable, but...
But, sir?
Oh, never mind, Major. I was thinking aloud. Let's go up on deck, see how Australia looks after all that sand and flies.
Oh, I know how the men feel about it, sir. But I was just wondering what the next move would be.
You know, Leo, the times when I'd give a quid just to see a good stretch of desert sand again.
Yeah, I know what you mean, Ben. And here a Jippo kid giving us the malarkey about the Casbah. Instead of mosquitoes, frogs, and this...
Jungle training is the official name, Leo.
Jungle training. Killing us off, more like it. Fair dinkum, Ben, I know I'm a bit of a ratbag about some things, but I reckon...
Yeah, I know, mate. This kind of stuff gets you down.
It's not so much the yakka, Ben. It's the way they did it. Okay, so they tell us we're going home from the Middle East. So we get home and the missus and the kids are crying their heads off and laughing at the same time.
Yeah, I know.
Then they whip us up north here into this jungle stuff. And here they leave us. What for, mate? That's what I want to know.
Me too.
But what for? Jungle training. We're here to defend Aussie. We've got a whole stack of desert fighting under our belt.
Maybe.
Maybe nothing. Let the Japs land on Aussie and we'll give him his corner. And it won't be in the jungle either.
Maybe.
You say maybe again, Ben, and I'll cock you. Fair dinkum, this jungle stuff gets a bloke down. As I was saying, I'd give a quid to see some desert again.
Me, I said that. I never thought I would.
Me either.
And I got the feeling that before we're finished, both of us will give more than a quid to see some desert sand.
I don't see it, mate. Looks like we're stuck up here in North Queensland until the Yanks take Tokyo.
the Australian fighting men from the Middle East were kept at intensive jungle training in Queensland and were given no inkling that they were finally to fight in New Guinea, where the situation was daily deteriorating. Instead, on August the 3rd, 1942, those men in units of the 18th and 21st Brigades of the 7th Division were told they were being given embarkation training. They were going to travel north by sea as part of their training.
Man, oh man, as them Yanks say, the brass certainly had us on.
Did they ever? Embarkation training, they said.
And just by coincidence, we end up in Port Moresby Harbour.
That's the army, Ben. Big brother. Just wanted to save us any needless worry.
Could have saved their time for mine. Me, I'll be happy to see some real action. Show these Japs what we showed the eye ties.
Have a gander at those mountains back there, Leo. No desert fighting in that lot.
Yeah, that's for sure.
It could be that jungle training in Queensland might come in handy.
Maybe. Big maybe, I'd say. Listen, mate, I got me theories. And I reckon that any joker who can handle his weapons, knows his Bren, or his rifle proper, I reckon he's got the drop on the bloke he's having a go at.
Yeah, maybe. But get onto those mountains, Leo. They're big. Real jungle stuff up there. Up there in those clouds.
Japs too, eh?
Yeah, I'd reckon.
Yeah. Rugged looking stuff. That'd be where those militia jokers were fighting. What's the name, Ben?
Oh, gee, real boom name it was. Coco, or something like that.
Kokoda.
Yeah, that's right, Kokoda. Bit of a track over the mountain.
Track over the mountains. Remember that climb up those mountains around Damascus in Syria? They were really tough going.
Yeah.
Were they ever? I'll give you a shade of odds about this, Ben. We'll be remembering that tough stuff in Syria long after everybody's forgot this. Well, what's its name again?
Kokoda.
Yeah, Kokoda. What do you say?
Maybe.
Those soldiers of the 7th Division had no idea that they were about to write some of the most glorious Australian military history, to ensure that the name Kokoda would never be forgotten. All they knew was that up in those cloud-shrouded heights, the Japanese were moving towards them. And as they staged in the Atiki area not far from the track that led into the Owen Stanleys, there came the orders, 21st Brigade will recapture Kokoda with a view to facilitating further operations against Buna and Gona. Then, men who had served in Libya, Greece, Crete, the desert, moved out with their 70-pound packs light upon their backs. Now they were about to strike back at the enemy which menaced their homeland.
Leo, remember that climb in Syria?
What's that, mate?
That climb in Syria.
We've never climbed before, Ben. Never. Hold me.
Yeah, hold up there, Leo. She's slippery. Get your foot firm onto that next step.
I can't, Ben. I can't lift my foot. I'm done, mate.
No, you're not. You've got to keep going. This jungle stuff's not going to be the bloke from the desert.
No. No, you're right, Ben. Give us your shoulder. Thanks, mate. We'll make it.
Yeah, the golden stairs, they call them. Golden stairs. Footholds cut into the mountainside.
It's the mud, Ben. Yeah. The mud almost up to your knees. Hold it for a sec, will you? Feel crook.
No, you can't stop, Leo. Keep kicking those boots up and down.
Yeah, but how?
Well, there's big pots up ahead there, older than us, mate. First World War bloke, Gallipoli. He's making out better than we are.
Bigger than your pots. Yeah. Yeah, we'll have to keep going. Keep going.
How you going, mate?
All right, Ben. I sort of got me second wind.
Black as the ace of spades now.
Yeah.
Wonder whether we're going to get our heads down tonight.
I'd rather keep moving myself. Too cold to stop.
Yeah, you got something there. Turkish bath in the daytime. Freezing chamber at night.
They reckon the The blankets are light on.
Yeah, the officer said supplies let us down. Not enough blankets to go around.
On the bugle, eh? I hope they can keep the ammo up to us.
When we need it. If we need it.
We're gonna need it all right, pal. I got the feeling that this climb's only the start of the deal.
Yeah, you're right, you know, Leo. Somewhere up ahead there, the Japs are dug in, waiting. Waiting with their mortars and machine guns and the rest of it lined up to give us the treatment.
Yeah. Just like the Otais were,
Only this isn't the desert.
You kidding? How much was it? We said we'd give to have another look at a good stretch of desert.
Quid, mate.
Double it. Treble it. Right now, I'd give me deferred pay to be sitting in a wadi somewhere where there was plenty of sun and sand.
And flies.
And flies.
Sorry, mate, I can't help you. All I can give you is mosquitoes. Plenty of them.
And mud. Fanny can bend this. This cutlery's the end. For me, they can give it to the Japs. For free.
You're not fair dinkum, you know. Tomorrow, after you've had a sleep, you'll be Jake.
Jake? I'll never be Jake again, Ben. It's rain. It's getting right into my bones. This mud.
Take it easy, pal. Well, she's been tough going. The militia blokes have had this one up to date.
Yeah, you're right. Had the 8 divvy blokes in Malaya. Yeah, I reckon it's just the change of scenery it's made me feel a bit crook.
Hello, they're stopping up front.
Asleep, I hope.
Yeah, looks like it. As far as I can see up there.
Dear me, mate. I'm going to drop right here on me tracks.
No. Let's get under cover, Leo.
Right here, mate. Right here.
You all right, mate?
Sure.
That's a funny thing, Leo. I was just thinking about that night when we ran into that Pommy battalion on the Murjayan Road, you know, the one that went to Jazeen. What was the name of that battalion? Well, I remember the Cheshire Yeomanry. Remember them? Funny name, eh, mate? Yeah. It's a funny thing to be thinking back to Syria. I never thought we'd be up here, Leo. I never thought she'd end this way. You asleep, mate?
No, Ben.
You're not saying much.
No. Just thinking.
Well, what's on your mind? You're worrying about tomorrow.
No. I'm just thinking that as long as I live, I'll never forget this stinking, filthy, rotten Kokoda trail.
No man who ever walked that trail in wartime will ever forget it. And yet, as those desert veterans climbed the heights and clambered down the steep slopes, they hadn't come to the worst of it, not by any means. Many of them had collapsed on that ghastly stretch known as the Golden Stairway. Some were too exhausted to eat when they stopped for these scanty meals. But out of this ordeal, and ahead of these men, lay the unknown. The Japanese knew of the supply difficulties which the Australians were experiencing them themselves. This was the battle against nature. Next to come was the battle against the enemy, experienced in the jungle tactics of infiltration and deception. Almost blindly, the Australians pushed upwards. And after 6 days of this supreme effort, the desert pushed through the depleted ranks of the militiamen who had held the Japanese. Somewhere ahead of the AIF was the enemy they'd come home to fight. Somewhere in this unreal world of mountain, jungle, cloud, and rushing water.
Question.
Last fired a shot in anger.
You can say that again. Look at it.
That's the Ora Creek down there.
I'll take your word for that. As far as I'm concerned, you could put Central Railway Station amongst that jungle stuff down there, and you wouldn't even see a wisp of smoke.
The same thing goes for a division of Japs.
No trouble to hide a division of Japs and that stuff. There could be plenty of fairies at the bottom of that garden.
Like I said, could be a division.
Or two.
Maybe.
You know something? We used to call these blokes chocos.
Chocos. The militia blokes, you mean?
Yeah, that's who I mean. Those boys have been fighting around these parts.
No chocolate soldiers around these parts, Leo.
That's what I'm saying. Like those 53rd Battalion boys that got knocked off by the Japs.
And they knocked off quite a few themselves.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And those Italian codgers we saw. Short rations, light on in clothes, living in this rain all...
And now it's our turn. We're taking over.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
The AIF was moving into the mountainous jungle area where little was known of the Japanese situations and movements. Militiamen were being killed by ambush and by infiltrators who were feeling ahead of the main body of Japanese troops. Now the AIF men had arrived, the battle role became theirs.
Hello? Hello? Oh, Captain Meggs. Sounds as though the Japanese are attacking in the vicinity of your company. In that case, will you go up to your company immediately? It have broken through your perimeter. Chosen the afternoon, eh? Interesting. Now we're meeting them in strength. Right, Bennett. Good luck.
Wait, whole flock of them. Here. Well, now we'll see what kind of soldiers these Japs are.
Yeah, any minute.
Here they come. Give it on, Ben. They're still coming, mate. Broken through the platoon up front there. Just pouring in.
Man, I sharpened the bayonet this morning.
You'll need it. You got those grenades handy?
Right here.
Give us a few. Thanks, pal. Teeth on the pin. Here's one. Hey! Can't miss them. Well, we haven't got enough grenades waiting along. Yeah. Come on, Tojo. Take the bayonet. Use your butt, mate. Don't run on the leg with a butt. Any bloke who uses the boot on me gets the boot back. I wouldn't dirty me rifle butt on him. You dirty. You all right, mate?
Yeah, here, thanks. Jump right on my back. Look out. There's another mob.
Hand to hand. Jungle fighting. Well, I get onto that stuff they were teaching us in Queensland. Stuff blokes learned in Malaya.
Only one lesson I ever learned in the army, mate.
Yeah?
Be there when they shout that the Mungo's up.
I see what you mean. Listen to and staying alive.
The Jap knew they'd encountered the battle-trained Australians from the Middle East. And in their initial onslaughts, the Japanese made their way in until they met the Australians hand to hand. And the jungle battlefield rang with the clash of steel helmet against helmet, and the scream of men with their straining fingers at the enemy's throats. But the Japanese attack was beaten off, and when the survivors retired back behind the green jungle curtain, they leaped, scattered like leaves, before the AIF position.
Oh, quiet, Ken.
Yeah, for the time being, Leo. But you can bank on those little yellow men to be nutting out something unpleasant.
I'm with you there. They've been nudging at us ever since we broke that first big attack.
Sniping from behind cover. Trying to encircle us.
And getting their corner, too. We're getting more of them than they are of us. Copping it again over there to the right.
Yeah. There goes Lieutenant Cox with his platoon. Must be some pressure on across there.
Might as well be in it, eh?
It's all the way from the Middle East.
Here they are. You see the smoke?
And there they are, too, to the right. Them there, I reckon.
You're right, and they're coming. Get under cover.
Listen to them. Down they go.
Yeah, it goes down. Another dozen take his place. Mr. Cox has caught one. He's down.
Here. Who's that joker who jumped up? The joker with the bread.
That's Bear. You know him. The bloke from Mooney Ponds in Victoria. Two-striper.
Look at him. How's those Japs with that bren? He's knocked a dozen of them over.
And the rest. There's 15 of them that I can count. He knocked them off at point-blank range. But the Japs are still coming.
Got the weight, mate. Sheer numbers.
Have they ever? Lieutenant Bonington's holding them there. Put it two. And the Japs are pushing through. Get those grenades ready, mate.
No, Nielsen.
Here, I see. They're holding the Japs.
Cool as cucumbers they are. Holding the Japs back while the rest of the blokes get set. Get onto them, will you?
You're gonna pay it. You think...
Hey, who's that coming up?
That's Sergeant Thompson. That's the bloke from down Frankston way.
Yeah, I know him. He's got Avery with him. Kingsbury. There are two other blokes from round...
Corporal Bear's looking for more trouble. He's ganged up with them. What a bunch.
Well, they're still only men, Leo. I mean, half a dozen blokes can't hold back 100 or so Japs.
Something like that happening in the desert, particularly around Bardia.
Yeah, but this is the jungle.
Sure, I know. And these are Japs we're up against. Tough as leather and cunning as rats. Keep your head down. Here they come again.
Beating them back again.
We can't keep it up forever. A man's on a machine.
I reckon not. Get a load of what's going up there to the right.
Sergeant Thompson.
And his mate. They're taking the fight right into the Japs now. Look at him go.
But look at Kingsbury. Just look at him.
Friend gun at his hip. Going into the Japs like a chicken into hot mash. But get onto him.
He's knocking him over, Ben. Knocking him over right, left and centre.
Left, right and centre. The Japs are pulling back.
Yeah. A handful of jokers have turned the Japs right off track.
Yeah. They've changed the whole deal. Oh, Kingsbury. He's down, Leo.
Sniper.
Oh, after all that. Shutting up Jap machine gunners. Knocking them out of position.
Yeah. That's the way it falls, mate. Desert or jungle. The good blokes could still cop it.
Kingsbury. Let's start with Kay. Yeah, not much consolation in that, mate.
Ah. And I'll tell you one thing, mate. There's going to come a time when the name of this trail will be better known than Pitt Street in Sydney or Collins Street in Melbourne.
Yeah. And for mine, the Kokoda will always remind me of Kingsbury.
You got something there. Well, come on now. There's still a long way to go.
Yes, there was still a long and bitter way to go. And the trail those men followed is now possibly better known to all Australians than the thoroughfares of Australia's major cities. And Private B.S. Kingsbury of the 2nd 14th Battalion, formerly a real estate sub-agent of West Preston, Victoria. He was awarded the Victoria Cross for his heroism in that early action on the Kokoda Trail. His action became an inspiration to the men who came from the desert to meet the enemy in the jungle.
Correspondent, recorded by Robert Peach Productions, is presented for your entertainment by the Australian Army's Directorate of Public Relations.